Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've recorded my last video, pretty much pre-pandemic to post-pandemic, which was not the intent, but things were kind of hectic. Our passive house, as you can tell, is now complete. We are living in it and have been since about a year ago, and as a result of hitting our year mark, I decided to come on and record an update video, show you around the house a bit, and then start adding the videos that I've recorded over the course of building the project to the YouTube channel as well over time. We've built a lot of different projects during the past year that we've been in the house, and some of the projects are the cabinets for the kitchen. So if you can see them right here, these cabinets that are built inside of the wall, we've added those, and I'll show a video of those when I edit this. We've built 4 loft beds up in the lofted bedrooms for the children, so they have a smaller footprint for each of the rooms, but then we don't have an attic, and the room goes all the way up to the top, and so I'll pan a video of that as I edit this as well. We've also made the loft net in the lofted area of the living room right over there from where I'm sitting, and this is really fun. This is we got a custom metal fabrication for that lofted net, and then we ordered it from loftnets.com. It's a fantastic space for the kids to lay up there and read, and for myself as well. I go up there and check my Slack notifications for work and stuff there at some part of the day. We also built a computer desk up in the lofted area. We have to move my other computer desk and put like the little music section, but that'll be something that we do later. And we finished this kitchen table that we have as well. So we have a new kitchen table that we had the top made from a tree that we dropped in the yard, and that turned out really well. Kylie finished the top of the table, with some polyurethane and mineral spirits, I think is what it's called. And then we also had the legs at the bottom of the table fabricated. So that was a fun project that we did. We did face some hurdles during the building of this project. So it took longer to build the house than we expected. It was still it was a good timeline for it being during a pandemic, and credit to the builder for that, for really moving things forward. But it did take a long time from the time that we purchased the land till we got in the house, and it took about 11 months of build time. From November, I think we broke ground in 2020, November of 2020 till October of 2021. That was the timeline of us building into the house. We also had some issues with Alpen window and doors. So we ordered our doors and windows through Alpen, and I'll be making a whole video on this that I follow up on after. But there was some pretty significant issues where we didn't have functioning doors for about a year that we lived in here. We just got them finished. And then also some of the windows were leaking air in a considerable way, and I'll attach a video showing the temperature drops as I recorded it through the window, so I'll have a whole video about that, but the doors and the windows have been challenging. Our mini split system also had issues, so we went with Pioneer, and we had 2 mini split systems up in the top, the 3rd floor of the house. We had one on the main floor here in the living room kitchen area, and then we had one that we have not hooked up yet in the basement, and we've had a lot of trouble with that. So we haven't had our AC on all summer because of leaks in the system, with it freezing over and then dripping down on the floor. And so we just turned the system completely off, and we're still in the process of getting that fixed. So that's been a pretty significant headache, during the process. And we learned some lessons, during that phase of the build too, that we would do things differently had we to do it again. So you're seeing a little tour of the house now as I record this video, but for the future videos that I'll make, I have probably 5 or 6 that I really want to make. I recorded all the video during the whole process, and so we'll have a much more we'll have lots of videos that come out over the course of the next bit. We're also going to record a video about the cost of the house. So the cost came in, we didn't keep track of it super well, but I'm thinking we ended up spending just around $1 million on this house. There was a variety of reasons for that. There was like a $8,000 fridge and just other random things that you certainly wouldn't need to include when you're building yours. But the cost did build up really quickly, especially building during a pandemic when it was hard to get some supplies and things like that. So this house came in pretty pricey, but I think, you know, there's ways that you could do it considerably cheaper now that would make it so it was a bit more reasonable. We intended to build, we bought the lot for $225,000, and we intended to spend about $550,000 on the build. And we obviously overshot that by a pretty dramatic amount. I think we ended up spending around $775,000, you know, on the actual build. You know, there was things, like I said, like the fridge, the loft net. I think that loft net was $5,000 or something like that total, with maybe $4,000 for the fabrication of the metal and $1,000 for the net, or $700 for the net or something like that. So ended up becoming pretty expensive. So we'll go an in-depth video on the cost, where we save money, where we spent more than we probably needed to, and where we were cheap versus frugal, you know, mistakes around that. So that video should help, you know, get a better ballpark of costs. This is also in the Denver area, which is just a more expensive spot to build in some other places in the country. But, you know, hopefully that information helps you as you go to build your passive house. Some of the main videos that I want to make are, like I said, the update on Alpen windows and doors, how we framed the house and how we did the air barrier. So just showing that. I have about a 5-minute video on that. Like I said, our heating and cooling system with the Pioneer mini splits and the issues that we had up to this point. We'll make a video about the performance of the house, so both from an electricity consumption perspective, we don't have any gas running to the house, so it's all electricity. So I'll be making a video on how much electricity does it consume over the course of a month, and then throughout the year with the different flows of, you know, seasons. And then also just the performance of the house, so the comfort level, the measurements. We have thermometers all around the house to get a good idea of what the temperatures are. So I'll be recording a video on that as well. We also are getting a blower door test on October 19th, so I'll release a video on, you know, the performance of the blower door test as well once we get that updated. I want to make a video on mistakes that we made during the build process for a passive house. So I'll make a video specifically on, you know, our passive house builds, and then as well as just things to keep an eye on if you're building passive, just, you know, so we can cover both. But we learned a ton during this process, both us, the architects, energy consultants, builders, we all learned a considerable amount as we were building. I will do a video on the top 3 things that we would do differently for our specific passive house, with, you know, our layout, our lot, you know, and there are a couple things that I would do different that I think would have made a pretty big difference. So I'll make a video on that. And then we want to record videos on how we're doing our landscaping. So we're going to try to make a no grass yard that's beautiful and still lush, but just using a dramatic amount less water. And so we will be, you know, filming those parts too and updating on that, because the yard right now is largely dirt with some retaining walls. So we'll be updating on that. But thanks for following along the journey. So you got a glimpse into how the house turned out as of now. We still have lots of projects to do. We've been doing a lot of cosmetic and usability projects, but overall, from a performance perspective, the house is mostly done. We just need to get the heating and cooling fixed with the mini split. But other than that, you know, it's a functional passive house, you know, with great insulation, thick walls, an air barrier, all of those things. So as we get, you know, the blower door test done on the 19th and some of these other things, we'll get a really good glimpse of the current state of the house. I look forward to releasing some more videos now that things are a bit more calm in life, and, you know, helping you all see how our house build went so that yours can go a bit better as the primary reason for this. And then just, you know, showing some of the projects that we've done and some of the ideas that we've had over the course of the couple years that we've been working on this build. Thanks for following along, and see you next video.